Stephen Lecce is out as Education Minister in a major shuffle of Ontario Premier Doug Ford's cabinet. Lecce, who served in the role since 2019, will now serve as Energy and Electrification Minister in a swap with Todd Smith. It's been a singular honor to serve the 2 million children in Ontario's publicly funded schools. Lecce, who was often at odds with teachers' unions throughout his tenure, told reporters after the announcement was made, "My new mandate is about bringing that energy into a new ministry and helping to ensure that we can build an infrastructure, the largest infrastructure program in Ontario and Canadian history, but we have to have the energy to do it." Other highlights of the shuffle include the introduction of former Housing Minister Steve Clark as Government House Leader. Clark resigned from his cabinet position in September amid the fallout of the Greenbelt land swap scandal. In a statement issued announcing the changes, Ford said, "We're at an important moment in our province's history with clear choices." Last month, the Premier declined to commit to a June 2026 election date, which fueled speculation of an early Ontario election. Key members of Ford's cabinet, including Health Minister Sylvia Jones, Finance Minister Peter Bethlenfalvy, and Municipal Affairs and Housing Minister Paul Calandra, remain in place. The shuffle came on the same day the legislature rose for an extended summer break. Some ministries, such as tourism, culture, and sport, as well as agriculture, food, and rural affairs, have been split in two and renamed. Stan Cho becomes the new Minister of Tourism, Culture, and Gaming with responsibility for the OLG. The former Minister of Tourism, Culture, and Sport, former CFL star Neil Lumsden, will now be solely responsible for sport. Registered nurse Natalia Kuzendova-Bashta will take Cho's place. Lisa Thompson becomes the new Minister of Rural Affairs after serving as Minister of Agriculture, Food, and Rural Affairs since 2021, as Rob Flack takes on farming, agriculture, and agribusiness. Mike Harris, son of the former Ontario Premier of the same name, becomes the new Minister of Red Tape Reduction, filling the vacancy left by Parm Gill, who gave up his cabinet position and seat to run for the federal Conservatives. A number of new associate minister positions were also created and bring the size of Ford's new cabinet to 36. The province confirmed earlier in the day that legislators will return to Queen's Park on October 21st. NDP leader calls new cabinet bloated. Speaking to reporters at Queen's Park, NDP leader Marit Stiles called the new cabinet bloated and accused Ford and his ministers of hiding from the public due to the timing of Thursday's announcement. "It's going to be almost Halloween before they come back into this place," she said. "They don't want to be asked the tough questions. They want to take their bloated cabinet and the big fat paychecks they just gave to a whole bunch of new ministers, and they're going to send them all over the province to sell a message and try to buy some more votes." Asked about Lecce's new assignment, Stiles said the outgoing education minister gutted and mismanaged schools in the province and expressed doubts about his future on the energy portfolio. "I am very concerned that this minister will make the same mess of our electrification and energy sector as he did in education," she said. A full list of the new cabinet positions is listed below. Premier Doug Ford remains Minister of Intergovernmental Affairs. Sylvia Jones remains Deputy Premier and Minister of Health. Peter Bethlenfalvy remains Minister of Finance. Paul Calandra remains Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. Raymond Cho remains Minister of Seniors and Accessibility. Stan Cho becomes Minister of Tourism, Culture, and Gaming, with responsibility for OLG. Doug Downey remains Attorney General. Jill Dunlop remains Minister of Colleges and Universities. Vic Fedeli remains Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation, and Trade. Rob Flack becomes Minister of Farming, Agriculture, and Agribusiness. Michael Ford remains Minister of Citizenship and Multiculturalism. Mike Harris becomes Minister of Red Tape Reduction. Michael Kersner remains Solicitor General. Andrea Conjin remains Minister of Environment, Conservation, and Parks. Natalia Kuzendova-Bashta becomes Minister of Long-Term Care. Stephen Lecce becomes Minister of Energy and Electrification. Neil Lumsden becomes Minister of Sport. Todd McCarthy becomes Minister of Public and Business Service Delivery and Procurement, with responsibility for Supply Ontario. Caroline Mulroney remains President of the Treasury Board and Minister of Francophone Affairs. Michael Parsa remains Minister of Children, Community and Social Services. David Piccini remains Minister of Labor, Immigration, Training and Skills Development. George Pirie remains Minister of Mines. Greg Rickford becomes Minister of Indigenous Affairs and First Nations Economic Reconciliation and remains Minister of Northern Development, Prabmeet. Sarkaria remains Minister of Transportation. Todd Smith becomes Minister of Education. Graydon Smith becomes Minister of Natural Resources. Kinga Surma remains Minister of Infrastructure. Lisa Thompson becomes Minister of Rural Affairs. Stephen Crawford becomes Associate Minister of Mines as part of the Ministry of Mines. Trevor Jones becomes Associate Minister of Emergency Preparedness and Response as part of Treasury Board Secretariat. Sam Oosterhoff becomes Associate Minister of Energy-Intensive Industries as part of the Ministry of Energy and Electrification. Nolan Quinn becomes Associate Minister of Forestry as part of the Ministry of Natural Resources. Nina Tangri remains Associate Minister of Small Business as part of the Ministry of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade. Vijay Thanigasalam becomes Associate Minister of Housing as part of the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing. Michael Tibolo remains Associate Minister of Mental Health and Addictions as part of the Ministry of Health. Charmaine Williams remains Associate Minister of Women's Social and Economic Opportunity as part of the Ministry of Children, Community, and Social Services. Kindly like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments section.